seen Clubhouse on Discord where it'll be like a channel called XX Clubhouse, and you click on it, it's just someone streaming the Clubhouse onto Discord.
No, this is like it's literally an app meant to be a social network, but like platforms like voice and text channels meant to be. Never used it yet. I just downloaded it. There's got to be a way of getting a flood of people either from a big, I don't know, a big YouTube stream or from politics, man. There's got to be a way of hooking them and bringing them down, man. Setting an event that advertises 24/7, so it pings the server over there. But I don't know what the fuck to make it, man. Any ideas, boys? I need help. But if there's anyone listening that wants to ask a question about the flat earth, please take the floor and speak up. If you want to have a chill discussion about where we find ourselves, whatever this place is, because it's definitely not what they've been telling us. We're not flying through space in different vectors at millions of miles per hour. We're vacuum with no containment. We know we've got 14.7 psi on average at sea level. It's a gradient, it gets less and less dense as you go up. But beyond that Kármán line, space is this near perfect and as good as infinite vacuum, somehow supporting this tiny bubble of pressurized gas. I don't think so. But if you've got an argument for it, please bring it forward.
Do I have any, right to talk still?
Of course.
I didn't really get a, concrete answer on how things go down.
Welcome to the white people. I want to have a conversation with y'all because y'all really pissed me off.
That we don't
Where are the new rock bands?
Well,
like when I was growing up, we had Haggadah.
Seems to be
so easy to think the world is going to shit until you sit on a rock.
What else?
You sit on a rock, man. It's all right.
No one knows.
It was.
Because I mean, density does play a part.
But most people, to set the globe, Earth, obviously they believe in gravity, and they kind of flip-flop from they don't know which gravity switch. They don't realise there's a couple of versions of gravity and they're quite different, even though they claim they're explaining the same thing. But they are radically different. One's a force, one's not. And it's like they've not got any science behind them, so they're not scientific. If it's got no experiment, then it's not science. There's no theory. There's no hypothesis, there's no IV or DV.
Well, gravity is what we call the phenomenon.
Well, the effect. There's no hypothesis, there's no IV. Well, G. We G. So we see things falling, but not everything falls down. Well, the effect.
I'm sorry, I don't understand.
I'm saying not everything falls down. Like helium, for instance, that goes up. It's less dense in the medium, so it rises. My mobile phone,
I think I've talked about this already.
Not everything falls down. Like helium, for instance, that goes up. So it's less dense.
I'm not denying that density plays a part, but without gravity, there's no reason for what is down without gravity.
What's gravity though? I mean, how would you define gravity?
She just said that gravity is the phenomenon, so it's the effect. It's not the reason for the effect.
What was you?
If we go with what she just said,
I suppose. Yeah. So we've got what G. So we can verify that. We can drop stuff so we know that's definitely the case.
Yeah, when the normie hears us saying that we don't believe in gravity, they think we're talking about the effect, like we've never dropped our cell phone before, right? What we're talking about is the cause and everything associated with that cause. So yeah, I drop my cell phone, it goes to the floor, but does that mean that everything they say about the bending and warping of space-time and mass attracting mass and four-dimensional space and the continuum and the tides are caused by the moon. Does that mean it's automatically true because we all witness the same thing, or is it just a baseless assertion?
No, I'm just talking about gravity.
Is it all pseudo-Romanian space time? Pseudo-Romanian, is it counter space? In fact, it gets called. Is it not? I've heard people when they're trying to explain it in the sort of crazy technical sense.
No, Larry, I never realized that dropping your cell phone can prove so many things.
Well, to some people,
the moon round.
I used to have this funny video of this gal who catches like a fish at like a local swimming hole, and then she holds the fish up and takes a selfie with her camera and her phone, and then tosses her phone into the water. That was like a Globe proves gravity and buoyancy and density in one fell swoop.
I mean, you just mentioned those two things, but they don't really say what's down.
Well, I mean, if you believe in the globe, like down's just to the center of the sphere.
Yeah.
Do you realize how fish, right? How they swim in the water? Do you know how they do that? Is it gravity? Or what do you think keeps a fish buoyant in the water? Or a submarine? Or anything? Yeah, here's
buoyancy stops. Buoyancy has to do with the surface tension of the water, I think.
You've got like double hulls so they can fill them via air, obviously, in itself. But fish have like swim bladders, so they've got like oil and stuff inside their wee swim bladder things. I mean, gravity's not got anything to do with things. Or the big claims for gravity, the mass attracting mass, and the Einstein story. Like, I think we can quite easily just discredit that completely.
Like the certain fish all live in a certain area.
Well, I mean, I've even got a quote from a guy, Lewis Ryder. He's some kind of professor dude from one of your top places, Cambridge or Oxford, and he says it must be abandoned because it doesn't. That Newton's mass attracts mass must be abandoned because it doesn't work with special relativity. So even the scientists, I mean, I've got a scientist as well. I've got a couple of images with information about him. He's like a Dutch astrophysicist, and he says gravity is nonsense as well. Eric de Linder or something his name is. So the top-notch people are saying throw it. So
throw it out. It's a long placeholder for. It's a very very long-winded answer to like I don't know.
There's flat.
I'll drop it in the chat for you, man.
Any picture we've taken of the Earth has been flat.
Oh man, no one ever sees curvature.
Yeah, exactly. Every picture, it's just a flat circle. It's just a flat circle.
So no one's seen curvature. No one's experienced motion. The constellation revolve.
Yeah, go look.
Yeah, all you'll see is a circle. Are you telling me that you can perceive that it is 3D in a sphere? You can see all sides at the same time.
I could show you some footage of NASA that might make you.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Then you only look at it periodically. Okay. I mean, yeah, it shows a circle. Yes, it does.
Yeah, plot
it shows a circle.
Plot it out.
Trace your finger across the screen. It's a circle. Yes, I am. No.
Well, like what?
Okay,
yes.
here.
So
now, each frame is a circle.
Can you take a look in the text chat, bro? You tell me if you think that's a recording of there. Tell me if you
each
think
frame.
that's real.
That's how a live stream works. It communicates frames to you through your screen. Each frame, if you freeze each frame, it is a circuit. Do you know how live streams work? No. Okay, that's good.
Oh,
the Earth
so take a look in the text chat, bro, and you'll see that the theoretical physicist Eric Delinder or Verlinder, his name is. So.
Hey, Cranky, look at what I
I
posted.
read the whole text, and I don't think it's. You know, you can disagree with this theoretical physicist.
I mean, he's agreeing with us.
Density, buoyancy, and finally magnetism. I can kind of see how that defines what up and down is, but that's kind of a stretch.
Up and down doesn't actually exist. It's just a point of reference from like yourself to the planet.
See the person that claimed NASA? Can you take a look at the astronaut Tim Peake, where he's blatantly busted hanging on wires? And you can't see the wires, but you can see by his fake somersault when he gets to the top, he instantly comes right back down, and he. No, but his face is scarlet as well. That helps show that he's not in a weightless environment.
You can hear it too on the live broadcast. There's a snap.
He believes in wires that he can't prove exists.
I don't need to.
They use chroma key to get rid of them. You could. There's.
I just find it confusing about the up and down argument because like there's no actual up and down. Up and down is not like an actual thing.
Yeah, no,
it's
like,
just
like
reference.
up is like far away from the surface, and down is.
Do you think that's perfectly
that's
normal?
Not what up and down is. That's not. Even science itself does not actually say that.
No comment.
Because
so what do you think?
Did.
Does Tim Peaks look dodgy in that somersault that he tried to do there?
I don't. I wouldn't know. I don't know.
I don't know. That doesn't look dodgy.
To the wires you see.
I mean, I just see a man's ass in my screen. So yeah, I guess that's pretty dodgy.
Right, there's the Russians coming back from the ISS. That's new footage. It's just out.
I think like a not zero gravity, or at least lower gravity is like someone like is able to be simulated. But I don't believe every single person is just going to like have the same reaction to it.
It's not zero gravity, is it? Like even in the ISS, they say there's up to 90% of the Earth's gravity up there.
Accurate measure.
Because they're just
zero gravity.
It's because they're falling. They claim in the ISS they're falling at 17,500 miles per hour. So that gives the appearance that it's zero G, but it's fucking. There's all the gravity, or 90%. They say 95 or whatever the fucking magic number they just made up. Yeah? But they claim most of the gravity is up there anyway. So.
Did you know that gravity is pretty relative to motion? And I mean this in this way. If I start like spinning like a ball in circles and there's something inside that ball, if something jumps against where that ball is like circling, right? Let's say like I'm spinning it like clockwise, and then you jump. Let's say like something inside that ball jumps counterclockwise. It'll seem like gravity is kind of lighter, but it isn't. It's just like it's complicated. That's why you can't just like automatically say everything is going to be like gravity or not gravity, because it can be a lot more complicated factors than that. Did you not understand? That wasn't even a flat Earth thing. That was just basic physics. You're racist. How dare you accuse China of faking anything? I believe you're racist for doing that. Why are you laughing? This is clearly serious. You are racist against Chinese people. Chinese people are one of the smartest people on Earth.
So, who's that bee with a buzz? Because I can't even remember that name. If you want to talk, bee with a buzz. feel free. I'll see if you've got rules. Or if
What do you
anybody
mean
wants to
LARPing?
talk,
I'm not LARPing.
just DM.
Sorry, I just phased back into existence. Did I miss anything?
You missed the horrifying truth that the Earth is not a globe or flat.
What is it?
I don't know.
I don't know what fucking room I was just in, like, what the fuck?
Did I miss any explanation of how things go down?
I don't think the Earth would be like a globe. Run away from
So,
what are we running away
has
from?
anybody actually got evidence that we're on a spinning space ball?
No, let's go back to the thing.
I believe Earth is constantly in motion. I'm not sure how it's in motion.
One at a time, folks.
Okay.
Correct. Yeah, it's easy.
Fly me to the moon.
Wait, yeah, I can give you I can give you something for this. Wait.
I have to tell you what evidence.
So if you can prove
I
that two heavenly bodies are attracted to each other.
You never directed it.
So I have to
say his name.
Fucking hell. So I have to tell you the proof you have to give me. Is that what you're saying? Right? Yeah. Oh man, that's kind of difficult, bro. Because I mean, it's not me. I don't need proof. So like, it's been.
Because you're over
Been a
talking.
while. I don't know. What? Like, you're the one that should be instantaneously going bang, bang, bang. There you go. There you go. There you go. But when it comes to the globe, there's. I mean, what have you got? Cavendish and sticks. I don't know, bro. Honestly.
Don't worry about our opinions. Just show any proof you got.
Wouldn't it be something that would be undeniable? Like
surely. And if the
It's an
globe was
easy
true,
question.
then...
Why is this being so? Why are you being so difficult, Spake? Are you? You're all right.
I just provided a metric. It has to be
No,
undeniable.
I'm talking. I'm talking to Spake. I'm not talking to you. So I'll tell you what we require: direct measurements of the surface of the Earth showing its curving. Real simple.
Oh, that's impossible.
Because it will eliminate, right? It'll eliminate a ball or flat from this simple measurement. You can eliminate one or the other.
See, that doesn't do it for me, yeah.
You don't need any derivative. Well, I'm just saying you don't. Well, that's him.
What?
Oh.
How's it religious?
He didn't say he didn't have evidence though. Yeah, but don't make baseless claims. So you'll be not talking. You can be not talking. Yeah, you can be not talking. Yeah, you can be not talking. So now you're not talking. You're muted. Congratulations.
In all seriousness, I don't believe. Look, I don't believe flat earthing or like believing in a flat Earth or any Earth that's not a globe to be a religion. I believe that's just a sense of of doubt, not denial, but doubt. In order to to have said doubt actually proven wrong, you'd actually have to have measurements and whatnot. But the thing is, we don't have measurements of the entire Earth, either because
you don't need
hiding it, or scientists are lazy or they're wrong.
It is a religion because it's not
evidence
about
that I'm borrowing in different vectors. That's what I'd like evidence of. Some kind of proof that I'm definitely in motion.
Yeah. Okay. So, Cranky, you were muted for a reason. Panto said that wasn't good enough evidence for him, and you said, well, you have a religious belief, and you're irrational. That's nonsense. That's just nonsense. Why are you casting aspersions on him like that?
You can't ask someone for evidence and then go oh no, that you can't do that.
No, well, he also strawmanned him and said, well, you don't have any evidence. He didn't say he didn't have any evidence. You asked him, what evidence would you require to decide one way or another? Is the Earth the globe or is the Earth flat? He can't think of something. That doesn't mean he doesn't have any evidence. That doesn't mean any of that. Like, why you thought that is beyond me. Because you came in here with a fucking agenda.
I believe an ought claim should prove itself. For instance, if I say the globe is round, right, I would have to prove that. But if I say I do not believe there is sufficient evidence to prove the Earth is round or the Earth is a globe, right? You don't go, no, where's your evidence for that claim? That's not a claim. That's just saying that's a doubt.
Yes. Well, flat Earth's not a claim, bro. Like, flat Earth's like the base axiom where we all find ourselves flat and stationary to say that the Earth is moving and a shape. That's got hundreds and hundreds of claims all through it. Like, a lot of them I've not even fucking heard of, but like it makes so many other claims on top of claims on top of claims. Like the globe is rife, and it's all contradictory.
I don't believe a globe Earth or a flat Earth exists. I believe if a flat Earth exists, it would have to be like an everlasting plane, not just a plane floating in like the expanse of space.
Well, that makes no sense, bro. It's a true dichotomy. Either the surface of the place you're living on is curving or it's not. Give me an alternative.
What? I just
give me a third.
You're doing the same thing the other guy's doing.
No, I'm saying it's a dichotomy unless you can give me a third.
You can't just like tell me to give you a third when I doubt both, right?
And what's the third option?
What's the
I
third
don't know what the third option is. I don't make.
So that's what we call a true dichotomy. Do you know what that is?
It's a yes or no choice, right? It can only be one of two.
I can't believe it.
It's only one of two options. There's only one or two options.
Wait, why?
The service
why is it only two?
Because give us a third.
Think of a third, you fucking trolls are crazy tonight.
It's curving or it's not, and it's moving or it's not. And I would say not on both counts, obviously.
Right, it's so yes or no, it's on or off, it's binary.
And it's not moving. Okay, I misunderstood what you said beforehand, never mind.
Okay, so I want to unmute Cranky. Obviously his username checks out. So we're going to start over. And don't try to mod the chat. Okay, don't try to mod the mods. Don't try and mod our chat. Okay. Okay, we're going to try and be civil. Maybe you could take your aspersions, and if you're just here to insult us and make baseless accusations based upon nothing at all, you know, you'll just keep being muted. I'm trying to be nice and give you a second chance. Don't make me regret it, please. So, Cranky, you're unmuted.
Big face. No, it's not that I reject that. Sure.
Of the globe.
That's a low bar.
That wouldn't change his mind. That's an extremely low bar.
I didn't say direct measurements of the globe. It was even lower than that, dude. It was direct measurements of the surface of the Earth showing its curving. It didn't even have to be the full globe.
Right. So he said that wouldn't change his mind, and I
was saying I'm not saying that.
That is the difference. You did say that when he offered.
I said it wasn't good enough. That's what I'm saying. To me, that's pictures on a screen, numbers, graphs, whatever, a video, like whatever. Like, but my personal experience, you might want to call it anecdotal, but I would say personal experience that I'm not in motion, that I've been observing the stars literally since I was a kid, watching them like travel across the sky. Yeah, so visually and personally, that's what's good enough for me.
Have you ever been on a train?
So it's an impossible. So I mean, how can you give me an analogy about a train? Is a train barreling in different vectors?
I'm just asking you a question. Have you ever been on a train?
Why is this sequitur? No, why is this sequitur?
It's a fucking closed system, and it's not barreling in different
It'll
vectors.
explain itself. It'll explain
It
itself.
No,
won't.
no,
It
no, it
won't,
won't.
bro.
If you've
I've
ever
You
heard
been
this
on
a
a
explain
million
train,
irrelevant.
times.
You
Bro, I've heard
explain
this
if
a
you've ever
irrelevant.
million
been on a
times.
train, if you've ever been on a train,
Let him
And
you
I
finish.
don't
have.
feel like
Please
you're
let him
going very
finish.
fast, right?
Why is
Right,
that?
the
So
Earth, bro,
so
Why
the
is
isn't
Earth
that
that?
is not going.
a
Do you
The
linear
Earth,
velocity that
listen,
you're
bro, the Earth
explaining?
is not going in a linear motion,
right?
and it's not going
So if a
constant.
ball, so hypothetically,
Oh
if a
my
ball
god,
is spinning
so
at a
stupid.
constant rate,
It's so
do you
stupid.
feel
That's
movement?
angular acceleration versus linear velocity.
But in
How
neither case,
retarded do you have to be?
uh-huh.
The
So
It's
that
a
surface
makes
non
of
it
a
sequitur.
hold on. The
Like,
surface of a
so,
cranky. The surface of a spinning ball is an acceleration because you're changing direction.
and it's on an elliptical orbit, so
Yeah,
it
so
has
you're
to
using a train,
accelerate
which
and
would be in a
decelerate.
straight line in a linear path, where this is a curvilinear path. So there is an acceleration. It's a false equivalence.
No, I'm saying that in neither case would you feel the movement.
You feel acceleration. You don't feel speed.
Right.
Being on the
So
surface of a rotating ball is an acceleration. It is.
How is it an acceleration if it's spinning at a
Because you're
constant rate?
changing, because an acceleration is a change in direction. It's a change in your path of motion from a straight line.
Right.
Yeah. So if you're on a curvilinear path on the surface of a spinning ball, how do you end up back in the same place in 24 hours? At one point, you're going in an exact opposite direction, right? 12 hours later, you're going in the other direction. And then another 12 hours, you're going in the opposite direction. You've just changed directions. That means you accelerated into that new direction.
No.
What do you mean,
It
no?
means your velocity took you in that direction.
Yo, he's trolling. He's trolling.
Direction is velocity, dude.
You
You're
believe
lost.
that Earth is
Right.
flat. I think you should take a
velocity
trip
is
to
speed
different
and
countries.
direction.
Take an
Well,
airplane.
Yes,
Look
there you
out
go.
of the window.
There's a citation in the text chat for you.
To see if it's really flat, you know.
Oh, another
Did you all
troll.
really just fall for that whole if you go in one
Dude,
direction?
Another
I'm not
one
trolling,
throwing
what do
his
you mean?
body into the gears to save the other one again.
No, I'm just saying, like, go take an airplane, fly,
Yeah,
look down, and see what you see. Like, do you see like a flat? You know,
Yeah, it's
just go,
flat.
just
Even
do
in the
that.
globe model, an airplane does not go high enough. So what are we talking about here? What does an airplane do?
I mean, I don't know if you're rich enough to go outside of the Earth, but I think airplane is the
What
best you have.
what makes you think you can go outside of the Earth?
You can take a
Holy
spaceship
shit.
outside of the Earth. Yeah.
Commercial airliners, they're only
It's
going
only
to be
gonna
under
cost you
40,000 feet.
I
$2 billion, but yeah,
I didn't hear what he said. I said, what makes you think you can go outside of the Earth?
you could if you want to.
Oh, you
just have
could?
to be rich.
What
Yeah.
makes you? Oh, what makes you think that? You saw it on TV?
Yes.
What if they said you can go to Narnia if you go through the wardrobe, which you would?
But I
Pardon
also
me?
seen it. But I also seen it
So
with my own
nothing
eyes.
that's ever been on
It go
TV
up.
is true.
Does it claim to be true? Does the TV come on in the morning and say everything that's on here is true? Well,
No, I'm asking you.
nothing on
You
TV
said
is true. No, nothing on TV is
nothing
true.
on TV. Nothing.
Nothing.
Why don't you? I
Literally
have something
nothing.
for you.
Got it.
Why don't you go? I don't know what state you live in, but I'm sure they have some NASA places in every state, right? Why
Yeah.
don't you go visit one of those and go look at the spaceships they have?
Oh, the spaceships.
Spaceship?
Yeah,
What?
rocket
Not like a
ships,
ship
whatever
that
they
goes
have.
Yo,
to space.
join space,
Go have a
folks.
look at
Take
that.
them out from the inside.
I went to Paramount Studios and they had a mock-up of the Enterprise.
Mm.
Yeah, so I guess I'm gonna go warp factor 6 to the planet with the tribbles on it.
But anyways, this is. I mean,
What are you saying?
Most of the stuff in TV is not true. You're
Oh,
actually
really?
watching it. You've seen it happen. Yes.
Most of the stuff on TV are true. You've obviously never been part of any frickin' news story ever.
Well, I'm not talking about the news.
Then what part of TV is true? What part do they claim is true?
A lot of the stuff. There's a lot of animal documentary. There's a lot of different things that goes on the TV.
Do they show you what actually happens, or do they cherry pick the information they want to give you for entertainment?
I would say a little bit of both, but that doesn't make it a lie.
So listen, they do 500 hours of film. They show you 30 minutes of that film, and based upon what they filmed, doesn't make it a lie. It's not a representation of reality.
It doesn't make it a lie, but it's true.
I didn't say it's a lie. You said it's a lie. You're trying to straw man me. It's not going to work. No, I didn't say the word lie. You said it. I said it doesn't represent. I said it doesn't represent reality.
Like everything on TV is not real. That's what you're making it seem
No,
like.
I said it doesn't represent reality.
Okay. Anyways, let's get back to topic though. If you really want, if you really believe that Earth is flat, I suggest you take a trip around the world, go on an airplane, and look down. And just look down and genuinely think, is Earth really flat?
Well, it's obvious you never tried that.
I don't know. When I look down and look at the black swan, someday want to go through that.
So you can't see curve from an airplane. You obviously don't even know your own globe model. You can go around the world on a flat Earth, no problem. You just travel east to west because a circle's a circle. You don't go around your house and think your house is a globe, right? You didn't go out your front door, walk around your house, go back in your front door and go, wow, I must be on the globe because I just circumnavigated my house.
Let me ask you something. When you say flat Earth, what does it really mean? Like, do you fall?
Means fall to where? There's no outer space, dude. That's why I asked you, what makes you think you can go outside of the Earth? Because you saw it on TV.
So you say space doesn't exist?
There's no outer space. Space is a metaphysical fantasy.
Yo,
okay, let me explain it to you. Outer space.
I'll prove this to you. When you lay down at night and you look at the stars, what are you watching?
Check this out. Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah,
Lulu
little dots of light in the sky.
Lulu made such a great point. I'm gonna fuck your night up, India, but you probably already knew this anyway. But just to remind you, these people vote.
Why are you laughing? Why do you think this is funny?
All right,
because you voted for Biden.
Outer space away.
Dude,
yeah.
By the way,
I'm gonna mute anybody who derails.
Well, Biden. So no, I don't want to talk about Biden. I want to talk about outer space. So outer space vacuum. The idea.
What does that mean?
So outer space vacuum, right? So the idea that there's Earth is a ball with a gaseous atmosphere surrounding it that's adjacent to a vacuum, and outside this atmosphere, there's a near infinite void stretching for trillions of freaking light years. That is a fantasy.
Right. So just.
Okay. Let me ask you something.
And there's a reason, and I'm going to tell you why it's a fantasy. Because there's something called the second law.
Dr. Kamen had a question.
Let me ask you something.
Yeah, and I'm answering his question. I'm answering his question.
I thought you were just going on from the other thing.
No, he appears like his argument from incredulity. Oh, I can't believe space is fake. They told me it's real. Oh my God. There's a reason that we say space is fake. Yeah, that. No, it's an argument from the second law of thermodynamics. The fact that air pressure can't be adjacent to a vacuum without a barrier or a container.
Right.
Yeah, so
can we just walk in from the outer edges of the universe, like in towards the planet, and you tell me which part is wrong? So, like, other galaxies, are those fake or no?
Well, I mean, what are other galaxies?
From what
you
I've
go,
heard,
Elijah.
A galaxy is a donut, a disk floating in space. Oh shit!
Yeah, but yes or no, like, are they fake or?
There's no. We see them. There's things in the sky, and human beings have labeled these things if they have particular properties. We've said these are galaxies, but there's further claims that this is like where we are. And there's a bunch of stars inside this galaxy. But they can't actually resolve any of these stars on any individual level because, according to them, the galaxies are so far away, they can't resolve individual stars. The only individual stars that they can make out are in our supposed galaxy.
Right.
So a smudge in the sky, we label it a galaxy. So is a galaxy fake? No, we see them. Is a galaxy a bunch of stars orbiting a fucking black hole a trillion light years away? That's evidenceless bullshit.
But what's crazy is how far is the nearest star?
No. Listen, you're trying to characterize it as fake or not fake. Being wrong.
It's an illusion. You said it's an
No,
illusion.
I didn't. No, I said we see them. How is that an illusion? I said we see them. We labeled those things galaxies. Now there is a theory or a hypothesis about what those are. That hypothesis is wrong. That does not mean galaxies are fake. Why are you trying to conflate being wrong with the word fake? One important step, the idea that you're denying. No, you're not. You're trying to paint a narrative. We've done this many, many times. You're not slick.
I can tell.
You're not clever. Yeah, you're not clever, dude.
So galaxies are incorrectly identified. Got it.
No.
Stars in our...
You're not incorrectly identified. The theory about what they are is incorrect. Yes, the theory about what they are is incorrect. No, you said they've been misidentified. No. You can identify something and not know how it works, right? I can see a cat and identify it as a cat, but not know anything about the internal digestive system of a cat and not know how it works, or have a theory about the internal digestive system of a cat and be completely fucking wrong, but still identify it as a cat.
Okay, so to use your words, galaxies are not explained by the theory. We have the wrong theory. So stars in our solar system, or in our galaxy, right?
According to them, the only stars that we can see are in our galaxy. Well, that's where the problem comes, right? So you have this thing called the cosmic distance ladder, where they claim that these stars are some distance away, right? What is the basis of this claim? The cosmic distance ladder. So where is the cosmic distance ladder based off of? Well, the first thing they start with is the radius. Well, where'd you get that from? The cosmic distance, so they build these distances to the stars because there's no observable parallax, right? The parallax is created by theory that the stars are actually in apparent positions and not in actual positions due to something called stellar aberration. Now, they got this stellar aberration idea from the alleged orbital velocity of the Earth. Where did they get the orbital velocity of the Earth? Oh, well, we got that from the distance size of the sun. Where did we get that? Well, we guessed that Venus was the same size as Earth. Well, what's the size of Earth? Well, it's this radius. Well, where'd you get that from? Nobody knows. So the entire theory is built on nonsense. The entire theory is built on a proven... I'm trying to explain.
How would you classify stars? I'm just trying to go one step.
How would I classify them? We look up, we see lights in the sky. They're not resolvable with any telescope because they're claimed to be so far away. There's no parallax, so we can't get a distance. What more do you want you to say? That they don't know what they say they know. That they've been making up stories for fucking 100 fucking years. There's a book you should read. It's called King's Dethroned. You should go read it.
That's in the server. It's in 24/7 if you put the PDF.
Stepping back from stars, because this is all based on your claim that space is. You said fake, but you don't want me to say that.
Well,
it's not
so
I mean,
so you said we can't go to other planets. We can't go outside of Earth's atmosphere.
This idea.
Correct.
What are the planets then that we see in our solar system?
This idea came from
same problem
anyway. So why do you
How is
care?
that the same problem?
These
ideas
the planets
from
free anyway.
The planets were named.
So why do you care?
They were named wanderers by the Greek. Came from planetas or planetes, so they make what's now termed retrograde motion, whereas the 88 constellations, they rotate in circles like they always have done. They're constant, and each year they are as they always have been. But the planets, they wander. That's why the Greeks named them so. So to say we're a wandering star when we don't resemble a planet, we're not moving, we don't look round, Earth doesn't glow. Like, why would you think stuff in the sky has anything to do with underneath your feet?
I was asking about other planets.
Okay, so it's the same. It's the same problem. The distance of the planets have the same problem. There's no parallax. If you don't have distances to anything in the sky, they can be any distance, or infinite distance, or negative distance. They can be anything.
So
It's a fundamental problem in astronomy that they dealt with, right? So they invented something called stellar aberration. Now, stellar aberration is, they say that because everything's moving, the light is hitting us at an angle. So where a star or a planet appear to be, what would the planet say? Do something called proper motion. So we see it in a place, but it's not actually there because we're in motion, or it's in motion. And we're going to use this calculation. We're going to use a calculation.
To stars, because I was trying to go
No,
to
it's the same problem.
It's like
the same.
Yeah, but we can see like really clearly, like with Mars, like the parallax distance is really easily measurable.
No, they use it's like not parallax. It's called proper motion. Like, you know what parallax is? If you go from to one side of the Earth and then the other, and then you view it, and then you compute the angle.
Is it about the side of the Earth? I thought parallax with stellar distances was with Earth on the opposite side of the Sun.
That's for stellar distances. I'm talking about planetary distances.
Okay.
But so they don't use parallax for planetary.
Parallax.
Oh, does it now?
I'm pretty sure.
How was it? How did they measure that?
You can measure it even from different spots on Earth, like you said.
Yeah. So where did they get the distance between the two spots so they have the base of the triangle?
Well, you can just walk it out.
He's pretending he doesn't know shit.
Yeah. Like, did they do that? No. Did they? You know what they did?
Aspersions. Don't let that
No.
cast aspersions.
Like, listen. Look, dude. Look. Anyway. Look. So, long distances on the Earth are calculated, not measured, using the radius that no one ever measured. You understand that? That radius isn't based upon the Earth, it's based upon the sky. It's not based upon anything done here. And often, people that show for the globe, what do they want to talk about? Unfalsifiable nonsense about shit in the sky that has nothing to do with Earth. There's no logical connection between the shit in the sky and the surface of the Earth. Nothing. Okay, what in the sky, when you look at the sky, you go, man, that looks just like Earth, man. Reminds me of Earth. Earth must be like that up there.
That sounds like an argument from incredulity.
No, it isn't. No, it's how human, you asked, how do we classify it, right? How do human beings classify things? They have properties which are similar.
Right.
So what similar properties?
Eyes are the best way to measure that.
No, listen, you're not understanding. So what properties are similar to what we observe of planets, stars, or anything in the sky that you see with what you observe on Earth? What are the similar things that we observe? So we can put them in the same category.
Via what observation methods am I restricted to?
Anything. Pick something. Pick anything, dude. It's an observation. You looked in the sky through your telescope, radio telescope, whatever, and then you're like, man, that's just like Earth. Earth must be in the same category as that thing.
So I would use the pictures of Earth from one satellite and the pictures of Mars from another satellite. They both look like balls spinning around the sun.
Cartoon.
Do they now?
Imagination.
So do they now?
When do you see photographs?
What if they showed you a picture of the Earth that looked like a galaxy? Would you think the Earth is a galaxy?
Well, I'm pretty sure that the Earth is too small to be a galaxy, first off.
Well, how big are galaxies?
Oh, the Earth is too small to be a galaxy, of course. Huh.
Oh, really? Yeah. How is that measured? Oh, we go back to the distance problem. You can't get a size without a distance, and you can't get a distance without a size. So we're back to the same problem. It's the same problem over and over again. Nobody's actually measured these quantities.
I feel like you're backtracking from the properties question you asked.
You can feel however. I don't care about your feeling.
Are the properties of Earth and the properties of Mars similar from the observations that we've gathered from satellites?
No.
They're not.
No. And what information we've gathered? Who is we?
Like the scientific community?
Whoever's
you're part of the scientific community?
You're all over the place, dude.
Where do I send the scientific?
Slow down, dude. Slow down.
No, I'm not slowing down.
You're all over the place.
Go mod your own chat. Anyway, So the scientific community, where do I send mail to? I want to talk to the scientific community. Where do I send them mail?
You probably have to get a degree, right?
To send them mail so they have a mailing address. There's a scientific community mailing address.
You could send a paper to a journal.
Oh, and those
you want
guys
an
are the scientific
astrophysics
community. No, so those guys are the scientific community. Or is the scientific community some nebulous thing that like people make up in their head to support arguments that they don't actually have? Yeah, I know what you mean. Scientific community doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist, just like space.
Yeah. No, there is no scientific community.
It's not like they're on call. Like you can't just like phone them or send them
There's
a
no
message.
fucking club, dude, of the scientific community.
Can send a paper into a journal.
Yeah, sure. Great. Most of them are wrong, so who cares? Yeah, most peer-reviewed research is wrong. So what do you want me to tell you?
Most peer-reviewed research is wrong. Got it.
Yeah, go look it up. Go look it up. It's not my opinion. It's the scientific community's opinion.
I'll get you the citations in 1 second.
Right.
Yeah,
most peer-reviewed research.
Most peer. Go type it into Google. Even Google will help me. Most peer-reviewed research is wrong, or findings are false.
Are you typing this into Google for me?
I don't need to type it into Google. Like you can just do it yourself, man. Or Grace is gonna post it in the chat, or Panto is.
I've got it, man. I've got three.
Something called the replication crisis.
That's only in sociology.
It's not only in sociology. Yeah, so
the replication crisis is strictly relegated to the field of sociology.
No, it isn't. It's in regular medicine too. It's also in physics. It's everywhere. Yeah, that guy who he thought they came up with some oncogene cancer fucking discovery, and he bamboozled fucking everybody for 10 years. Then they just fired the University of Stanford president, and then they just got that freaking chick from Harvard University.
There's a PubMed.
This all happened in the last 6 months.
I've got another couple somewhere.
Yeah, the president of the University of Stanford, a neuroscientist, was fudging his fucking data, and everybody, he was like cited something like 10,000 times. They made him the president of Stanford. He was running around, making money, giving talks, speeches, all that.
So what happened after he got caught?
Do you want to know who caught him? Well, he resigned. Do you want to know who caught him? Not the scientific community. It was a freshman journalism student at the University of Stanford. Freshman journalism student, not a scientist.
So what happened to those papers after that truth came out?
Well, they've retracted some of them, but they haven't retracted all of them.
Yeah, there's still a lot of them that they claim are.
So why would the scientific community retract the papers if it was trying to lie?
Because they got found out.
Business. Okay, so if their response,
because it's a business. What else would you?
When they get found out.
Whose response? The response was the scientific community did not pull the papers. The journals themselves and the people that work there pull the papers, because as it was just stated, it's a business, and it would be bad for business. Well,
the collection of journals and people that work there. So the scientific community is retracting the papers that were found to be fudged.
Yeah, the scientific community, it doesn't actually exist, man. There is no scientific consensus. There is no scientific community. No, I reference journals. You're trying to lump them in with other people.
There's 3 citations for you about peer review.
See, this is called an appeal to credentials or argument ad populum, is what you've been trying to do by naming this. There's a scientific.
Completely different from.
Oh, what is the scientific community then? Is the scientific community the majority of scientists? Yes or no?
I don't think I would.
Or is it the minority of scientists?
I don't think I would put it that way.
Is it the consensus of scientists?
I would say it's the consensus of relevant experts in their field.
Okay. Well, that's an argument. It's an appeal to consensus. Just as bad. It's the same thing. It has no truth value. It has no truth value on the claim. So if I make a claim, color of the sky is blue. Doesn't matter if I said it. It doesn't matter if 50 people said it. It doesn't matter if the scientific community said it. It's independent of those factors. Those factors have no truth value on the claim. It's a logical fallacy.
Truth value. It has
What's the truth value?
I'm trying to say, but you keep grandstanding.
Okay.
So
grandstanding.
The truth value is from the prior probability of correct statements by the relevant experts in their field.
Okay, that's awesome, but that is also a logical fallacy. It's called an appeal to probability fallacy. So you just supported a logical fallacy with a logical fallacy.
So
this is amazing.
Formal fallacies? Do you know what a formal fallacy is?
Yes, I know what formal fallacies is. I know what informal fallacies are. What's your point? They don't say anything about the
fallacy.
No, it's an informal. It's an informal logical fallacy.
Experts in their field and the prior probability that what they say is usually correct, and when it's not correct, it's revised.
Hold on a second. Okay, you have no basis for saying it's usually correct. You're literally making that stuff up. Literally making it up. What is your evidence that it's usually? What is your evidence that? What is your evidence that it's usually correct?
It's longer than that.
What is your evidence that the claims of the scientific community probably are correct because they're usually correct? And what did you say?
I said relevant experts in their field.
Okay. What is your evidence that they are usually correct? Listen, what's your evidence of your statistics? What probabilities are those? Show me that data.
The data that
that supports your claim that one thing is more probable than another. That data.
You're just hoping for the best.
Physics professors are usually correct about.
Yeah, that data.
You
want
data for that?
Yeah, I want that data. Yeah.
Like we did with the.
What the
fuck?
Put your dick away, Walter.
What the fuck?
It's a dude trying to run interference. It's normal.
He's basically saying they're right because they said so.
Well, no.
Well, why would you have to appeal to a consensus?
Yeah,
if there's
but
actual scientific evidence to base one on.
You're saying it's probable that they're correct. What is the basis for that statement? Your feelings, anecdotal evidence, data.
The prior probability.
What's your probability claim based on?
The lack of a replication crisis, for example, in the field of physics.
Yo, Drace, I sent you a message, just by the way.
The lack of a replication crisis in physics. That is not true. Okay, so what do you mean? Because you're just making claims, dude. You're not stating any evidence.
I just asked you what you mean.
What the whole thing is. What I mean is, you just claimed there's not a replication crisis in physics. Oh, really? What about the gravity B? What about the what was it? The tau, I think it was a tau meson. Like I can go on and on. There's a whole bunch of shit. What about the superluminal neutrino? What about there's a replication crisis. What about the fifth force they've been talking about for
things that are retracted or wrong, right? You're not referencing a replication crisis. You're referencing theories that weren't borne out or hypotheses that weren't borne out.
There's also a replication crisis in astrophysics. So you can take the data they accumulated for.
Can you substantiate that?
The cosmological constant crisis.
Look, I have to substantiate shit, but you can make basic claims. You can make claims and provide no evidence. That's crazy, dude. That's crazy.
I said that there's not a replication crisis in
you
provided physics. You brought up 3 examples of bad hypotheses, but that's not saying that there is a replication crisis. So I don't feel like you're responding to my point.
Yeah. Well, I just want to know what the basis of your probability claim is, and you just try to dodge that. You have no basis for that claim.
I just said there's not a replication crisis in physics. You haven't responded to that.
Those are there might not
hypotheses.
Okay, listen. There can be no replication crisis in physics at all. That doesn't mean that the things physicists say are probably right. That is a non sequitur. It doesn't logically follow from that, does it?
But according to Bayes' theory, prior probability being what it is, the experts in their field usually correct. If they're
you're just stating
probably
it.
Believe the next thing that they say.
But you don't know if they're usually correct.
Excuse me,
what
Indio,
are you
just real
I
talking
know that
about?
they're usually correct because
just real
there's
fast.
not been a replication crisis.
Okay,
But
so
a replication crisis is not the only indicator of something being incorrect.
Some guy wanted to jump in. So can you give me another one? Can you give me a reason to distrust the
I'm trying to, if you mute yourself for a second.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so George, just real quick, I'll be super concise. George Washington died because the doctor let all the blood out of his body because he had fluid in his lungs, right? Where you might think, well, that was too long ago. Okay, what about the guy who said that you should wash your hands after you touch the cadaver's dead body on the inside of their body and then go deliver the babies, right? He died in an insane asylum from an infection. All he needed was some distilled wine, some brandy, to cure his infection, but he was locked up because they thought he was crazy. Even though he said, hey, the midwives, they got really good numbers. For some reason, they're delivering these babies and they're not dying. The baby and the mother are surviving at a really high rate. So what are scientists supposed to do? Like doctors, they're supposed to say, oh, I'm a physician. I'm a learned man. I'm supposed to look at this evidence and what if we did an experiment, right? What if we said, hey, what if 2 doctors on our staff started washing our hands for 2 weeks and see what happens? But did they do that? No, they said he was crazy. They locked him up in an insane asylum, right? And you're thinking like everything's hunky-dory, like we're so much evolved now and everything's better. Like, no, we're the same human beings that we were back then.
Yeah, and yeah, I'll unmute this dude. So I'm gonna add this. Anytime a physicist says quantum mechanics is the most successful theory in physics ever invented, they're wrong.
Based on what?
Based upon the cosmological constant being the worst theory in the history of the worst prediction in the history of physics.
I mean, quantum is very
off
broad,
off
it
by
pertains to a lot of
120.
different things.
Listen, it's off by 120 orders of magnitude. The precision of any quantum what was that?
I'm not even sure. I'm just not sure what you're referencing without like something in front of me.
The vacuum energy. The vacuum energy was predicted by quantum mechanics was off by 120 orders of magnitude.
So wouldn't that guy be correct if everything else was off by more than that?
What are you talking about?
So
what?
You're responding to the
anytime
to a hypothetical physicist saying that the quantum mechanics theory is the most successful theory we have, but you said that it's off by 120 orders of magnitude.
That's right.
It's off, hold on. If it's off by 120 orders of magnitude, and every other theory is off by more than that, doesn't that make what the hypothetical physicist said about quantum mechanics still true? That it's the best theory we have so far?
No, it's the worst prediction in the history of physics.
You know what an order of magnitude is?
I know what an order of magnitude is.
So what's 120 orders of magnitude? What is that?
I have no idea.
It's a 10 followed by 120 zeros.
Yeah, I know it's 10 to the power of 120.
Okay. It's the worst prediction in the history of physics, but if you watch any physicist on YouTube or give a speech, they'll say quantum mechanics is the most successful theory in the history of physics. It's made the most accurate predictions, and simultaneously, but they won't tell you it's made the worst predictions.
Right, so the most successful theory is off by 120 orders of magnitude, according to you.
No, according.
Every other.
It's not according to me.
Wait, is this the flat Earth?
Don't get your panties in a knot every fucking time that I say something a little wrong. Let me get to my point. What I'm saying is that you're saying they're saying it's the most successful theory, and you're saying it's off by 120 orders of magnitude. If every other theory is off by more than 120 orders of magnitude, Isn't it true that quantum mechanics is the most successful theory we have?
No.
No, because
wait, no, both of you
it's
guys
the
are
worst
kind
theory.
of.
Hold on.
You're,
It's the worst
oh my
theory in the history of science. There's been no other theory more wrong than that ever.
So, like, with quantum mechanics, like, I keep hearing you guys throw it around, but, like, quantum mechanics entails a lot of different things. What specifically, like, what portion
The
of quantum
cosmological
mechanics are you
constant
talking
problem.
about?
The cosmological constant problem.
Cosmological constant
from
problem.
the
Okay, give
predicted
me a moment
vacuum
and I'll look it up.
energy from virtual particles springing out of existence and annihilating themselves created a certain amount of energy.
Isn't this about dark matter?
No, this is not. This
Isn't
isn't
this
about
like
dark
the
matter.
heart of dark matter?
No, this is not dark matter. This is the
Explain-
vacuum
explain
energy that's
this.
supposed to cause the expansion of the universe. Yeah. So anyway, let's get back to the point. What a physicist says has no truth value to the truth of a claim. There's no way you can construct an argument. Now, here's the argument. Here's my claim. The sky is blue. The sky is blue because I'm a physicist. The sky is blue because I'm part of the scientific community, and the scientific community is right most of the time. The sky is blue. Like, listen, how? Well, listen, this is your argument.
Oh my god, I'm so bad at getting
Exactly.
You don't even understand your own argument. Is that there is a truth value in
hypothesis?
your argument was there is a truth value in the things physicists say because they're usually right.
Right.
It isn't
Right. So we can determine the truth of a claim by examining who said the claim and their probability of whether they're right or not.
You're a young religious zealot cult follower.
Casting aspersions again.
Well,
So
I
agree
mean,
that they
that
can't be
one was a
wrong.
little less sure than the first one. It wasn't funny.
The
this
laws
time.
of physics are meant to be broken.
Right, like
Well,
they can be wrong,
yeah,
sure.
You're gonna
but
get
what about the Higgs
God's gonna give you a ticket if you break the laws of physics.
Well,
Like, the Higgs
there are
boson was
literally
something that was
companies that have already
debated for a
broken the laws of
while,
physics.
and then we found it.
No. Fucking laws are never broken.
Yes, they are, bro. They're broken all the time.
I got a point about the cosmological constant problem.
Superconductor breaks the
Anthropic
law.
arguments gradually gained credibility among many physicists after this discovery of dark energy and the development of the theoretical string theory landscape, but are still derided by a substantial skeptical portion of the scientific community as being problematic to verify.
Okay, I got something for you.
Dark energy does arise out of the cosmological constant problem.
It says they
Listen, you're
discovered
talking about
dark energy. They just used it to fucking plug the holes in their bullshit. They never discovered anything.
You're talking about string theorists. I got one for you. Nathan Seberg, I just posted. A leading string theorist at the Institute for Advanced Study at Princeton, New Jersey, is not alone in his sentiment when he states, quote, I am almost certain that space and time, dang, people are posting stuff. I'm almost certain that space and time are an illusion. These are primitive notions that will be replaced by something more sophisticated, end quote. Click the link.
Alright, so what am I supposed to draw from that?
Well, you were talking about string theorist, and then I'm pulling up the guy who was one of the people who came up with string theory, and he's telling you that it was so fucking wrong that they're doing away with space-time, calling it primitive and unsophisticated.
String theory was foisted upon the world by a guy named Edward Witten, who the scientific community considers very smart. So they all followed him down the primrose path and wasted 30 years of freaking glom following a fucking unfalsifiable nonsense theory.
Before you bring up Eric Witten, sorry.
I said Edward Witten.
Was about the cosmological constant problem was that I'm pretty sure that this discrepancy in measurement is one of the instigations for investigating dark energy, and it seems like I was right.
Bro, the thing about dark energy is that they allegedly discovered the Doppler effect, right? No way to prove that, but the universe is expanding. And they said because of gravity, that process is going to be slowing down. Well, in the 90s, they looked, and allegedly, it's speeding up. So they said, how come this is speeding up? Well, it must be there's some sort of dark energy out there, right, that's causing it to speed up. So when they looked at the vacuum energy and they compared it to the amount of energy that's speeding up, the vacuum energy was 120 orders of magnitude more powerful than what they predicted. So when you compare the quantum field theory to Einsteinian gravity, that discrepancy is right there. So either quantum field theory is wrong or the cosmological constant from Einstein's theory of special and general relativity is wrong, or both are wrong.
Well, we know that the cosmological constant theory was wrong as it was first introduced, right? We know
Right,
that.
that's Einstein's gravity. So you just said Einstein's gravity was wrong because he's the one that came up with the cosmological constant.
Look, if you've been following the field,
So can we define one term real quick? When you say wrong, what do you mean by that? Like every fact claim in it is untrue?
When they look, when they came
Hold
up
on,
with the theory.
Hold on, I was going to give you a different option. A capital W wrong, or is it like marginally wrong and needs to be improved?
This is a
Throw it in the
multiple
garbage.
question. You asked me what I meant by wrong. When they came up with the theory and they observed reality, you know, like outside and stuff, it was off by 120 orders of magnitude.
I understand that, but I'm asking
That would be capital wrong.
Okay,
Big
so
wrong.
every claim in this is wrong?
Dude,
that's what I meant. When you say wrong, that's different from kind of how the
Jesus Christ! If the premise
react
is
to
wrong,
these
then all
things
derivatives
is
are wrong. What's wrong with you?
Well, that's not the premise. That would be the observations, right?
Listen, bro,
the premise would be the theory, right?
The prediction being wrong. So let's break it down to like the hypothesis portions. So are you saying that
you don't have a hypothesis
was wrong, or the prediction was wrong?
What is
the
wrong?
experiment was wrong,
prediction,
or the
there was no
results were wrong?
experiment. Dude, I don't know
well,
what you
have
don't
to have an experiment to
Listen.
see that the cosmological constant is off by 120 orders of magnitude.
Yo,
He's
you
talking
are like
all the time while you guys are
it's
talking,
really
so I don't
sad
think
to
he's
see
picking
our
up on
kids'
much of this.
brain gets taken like this. I don't know.
So you relied on an experiment to say that the cosmological constant was off by 120 orders of magnitude. So you got to at least agree with that experiment, right?
It's
No.
an observation. They observed reality.
Right. So how do we observe things?
So within their paradigm framework, right? They have, it's not like there's just this one model. So there's a bunch of theories, right? There's a bunch of hypotheses, a bunch of different physics models that they glue together into this Frankenstein. So after they glued all this shit together, how supernovas work, how far away they are, what their distance is, how much the light is attenuated, like all these physics theories that they sandwich together, and then they looked up into the sky and they go, our numbers don't match. Which part is wrong? Who knows, dude? It's a Frankenstein's monster. It's like, which part is not the real human?
Well, yeah, I'm asking somebody else, because they're the one that said it was capital W wrong. Which part of the hypothesis we're going to say is totally wrong?
It wasn't a hypothesis.
Prediction?
Listen, bro. The Casimir effect is not a scientific experiment. There's this thing called zero-point energy. It's also known as virtual particles. It's also known as ether. It's also known as quantum foam. So this energy in the vacuum, where there's no material from the periodic table, is booming with way too much energy. If you're talking about a vacuum,
I totally understand that.
Okay, so if you're talking about,
but you're saying that
why do you need to cut me off?
Because it's off. Well, I feel like you're not quite answering my question, so I just want to restate it. If it's off by 120 orders of magnitude, which part should we revise?
Bro, listen carefully. I'm going to quote directly from Harvard. The quantum field theory predicts a large energy density vacuum. However, this is not observed. These gravitational effects are not observed. Okay, I'm going to I'll pull it up. I'll just pull it up because I can't remember word for word.
So, listen, how many variables could possibly be wrong to get this result? The distances, the contents of stars, the contents of the vacuum, like everything can be wrong. It's 120 orders of magnitude. You can fit every error in that.
So
you can make every you can make every error 10 orders of magnitude incorrect, right? You can make every possible physics theory that is inserted into the end value, right? You can make them 10 orders of magnitude incorrect, and it would still be wrong by 50 orders of magnitude.
Totally got it. So if I
it's an admission to them not knowing
you have
shit.
a 10, if you have a 10 to the minus 1,000 power chance of having somebody come in your room and rip your head off tonight. However,
non sequitur,
I
bro.
might be wrong. I'm just asking a question. Hold on. However, I might be wrong by 120 orders of magnitude. Do you have any reason to worry?
Bro, that was a complete non sequitur. I'm gonna go ahead and read this. This is from
No,
Harvard.
no, I'm asking
No,
somebody
no,
else.
no, no.
Okay,
You're gonna shut
quote.
up.
Got it. You got your quote. Yeah, go
Yeah.
ahead.
Quantum field
Probability
theory
arguments
predicts.
are fucking silly, dude. It only takes a 1 in 1 chance for something.
Quantum field theory predicts a very large energy density for the vacuum, and this density should have large gravitational effects. However, these effects are not observed, and the discrepancy between theory and observation is an incredible 120 orders of magnitude. There is no generally accepted explanation for the discrepancy, although numerous papers have been written about it. This was written in 95. Now that it's 2023, there's been 300 published papers written about this problem. You know what that means?
Right.
They're having a little trouble solving it.
I think you're right that they're having a little trouble solving it. It's probably one of the hardest problems about the nature of
shitting
the
themselves.
answer. But I basically completely agree with you that.
So let me ask you a question. Okay, because you
didn't answer my question because I had a question first. If there's a 10 to the minus 1,000 chance, and I'm telling you you're safe, you have nothing to worry about, that somebody is going to come into your house and rip the heads off of someone tonight. However, I might be wrong by 120 orders of magnitude. Do you have any reason to worry?
Yes.
Why?
Because you're wrong by 120 orders of magnitude.
So what would that mean in terms of math?
That means the actual chance. That means the actual chance is something like 116 orders of magnitude.
No.
You said 10 to the negative 1,000, right?
Right.
Is it 10 to the negative 1,000 power? Is that what you're talking about? The exponent?
Yeah, that was what?
Yeah. So your chance of being harmed would be infinitesimally small.
So
120 from 1,000.
What I'm saying is that you're using the number without context when you're saying it's off by 120 orders of magnitude, and thus we don't need to listen to anything that's being said.
No, bro.
Because they're off by 120 orders of magnitude.
No.
However, that is not understanding that 120 orders of magnitude difference is way deep down on the right side of that 0.000. It's already hundreds of orders of magnitude down in terms of ratio of wrongness. You're misrepresenting by simply saying that the prediction and the observation are discrepant by 120 orders of magnitude.
I don't know.
That's not a reason to. I already demonstrated that 120 orders of magnitude doesn't mean that somebody is capital W wrong in all fields of their observation hypothesis cycle, right? By saying that if you have a minus 1,000 power and you only take 120 away from it, then it's still not something to worry about, right?
Yeah, that's because you expanded the set of possibilities, right? So you expanded the set of possibilities by multiple of whatever you want to. Yeah. Well, I mean, 120 into 1,000. So you expanded the set from 120 to 1,000, and then included that 120 in that small set, or in that larger set. It's a little disingenuous for starters. So these probability arguments these good old probability arguments are just silly, right? So the probability of a single protein forming by chance is 10 to the 264.
Nobody claims that proteins form by chance.
Really? So people believe in God. So evolution, abiogenesis is God.
I feel like you're switching the topic.
No, I'm not. So either life formed by chance or it didn't. So if I made a probabilistic argument, I'm not actually talking to you right now because you shouldn't exist. No, no, I'm using.
And now you're switching to the other.
No, a single protein forming by chance has a 10 to the 264th years. How long it will take? You should not exist. Listen, you're trying to overtalk me because I just showed you your entire shit. Stupid. Your probability arguments are dumb because we can take these same arguments and make other ridiculous statements. They're not actually arguments. If you want to live through life thinking that you're a random roll of the dice, go right for it, dude. I don't really care.
I'm just showing that you made a Mott and Bailey because you said proteins have a XYZ chance of forming, or a probability of forming by chance, and then you said life formed by chance. That's
Listen,
different arguments.
No, it's not, because no life exists without proteins. Proteins are a requirement for life. If the proteins don't form, life don't form. Are you made of protein? Or you made of something else?
Just showing that was a Mott.
No, you just didn't see the connection between protein and abiogenesis.
No, they're two different arguments. You have to.
No, because all life has protein. You can't have life without protein. It's a prerequisite. It's the logical antecedent. If you don't get the protein, right? If you can't get the protein by chance, then I can discard life by chance as a consequence, right? So that means you can't exist.
Away the cosmological constant
No,
argument,
that means
no. Abiogenesis?
No, we're going to switch to the probability. That's what we're talking about. You're trying to deflect from the fact we're talking about these probability arguments are stupid because I can just make the argument that you don't even exist and I'm talking to fucking my imagination because of chance, because of the probability. Yeah, well, I mean, but the probability is that you don't even exist, dude. It's just these are stupid arguments.
Pretty sure the probability that I exist is 1.
Yeah. Oh, how did you beat the odds? Well, maybe if I increase the set to fucking 10 to the fucking 2 billionth, then it's just a small probability. These are specious arguments. These are, well, still is, and it's still a specious argument.
I still think you misunderstood why I brought up the chance of the 10 to minus 1,000 probability.
No, I understand it to make a specious argument.
I brought it up to, I'm going to say why. If you want to call it specious after I make it, you can say that. I brought it up to demonstrate that if you only say 120 orders of magnitude, and then you discard the theory, that you're using a context.
What's your prediction based on?
Hold on. We don't have any justification for inserting that into a larger set because it's the worst prediction ever. There's no other prediction that was like 1 to the 10,000th wrong.
I'm saying we should use the other part of the math. 120 orders of magnitude compared to what? 120 orders of magnitude.
Compared to itself, because that's the worst prediction. That's why we're comparing it to itself. Compared to every other predictions in physics, and that is the fucking gold standard of wrong.
Okay, so that's exactly why I'm disagreeing with you, because 120 orders of magnitude after 0.00 150 more of them is different than Newton being an order, or like, what is it, 40% wrong? I would say Newton was more wrong with his measurements of gravity than the cosmological constant theory was wrong.
You're conflating too. You're conflating measurement error with fucking predictions of a theory. Good try, but it ain't gonna work. So Newton could have randomly hammered his hand into a fucking typewriter, and he would have came up with a more predictive theory than the cosmological constant. If he did that shit for enough fucking, if he did that for enough years, it's that frickin' infinite. If you take an infinite amount of monkeys, they'll type the Gutenberg Bible. Frickin' Newton could have just slammed fucking numbers on a keyboard until.
I've never heard the Gutenberg Bible. That was very.
Yeah, that's where it comes. That's the original thing. Enough. They typed the Gutenberg Bible. There was enough monkeys hammering typewriters. But 120 orders of magnitude, that space of possible iterations, dude, of random combinations.
do you think that the 120 orders of magnitude is more wrong than what we were wrong about with the energy in an atom?
Yes.
Okay. Interesting.
It's not us that says it's the worst
Yokaku.
prediction in the history of physics. It's the scientific community that you cited. That's why I brought it up in the first place. I didn't even want to go down this road. But the thing is, your claim that like most scientists are right.
You brought it up because the quantum.
I know I brought it up, but I didn't want to.
As the best theory.
Because that, if you listen to physicists, they will claim that.
But physicists don't tell you that the cosmological constant problem was the most wrong, which is what you're saying, that anybody's ever been.
Yokaku.
You said
it's the biggest mismatch between theory and experiment in the history of science.
Look, let's just put it this way. Let's put it this way. If you went out, if you go tomorrow, go on YouTube, and you watch 50 videos on with physicists, and they talk about quantum. And
hold on, I'm not disagreeing with Michio Kaku. What I'm saying is that most incongruent experiment and most wrong theory is not the same thing.
What do you mean by incongruent experiment?
The experiment measuring the cosmic background radiation, right? That's what we're measuring with the cosmological constant theory, the energy at the lowest levels in the universe.
It's supposed to be expansion of the universe, which would probably be Doppler shift.
Right. I understand.
But they measured it hold on, it's measured a bunch of different ways. But I just want to tell you, there's a bunch of different methods that they use to kind of get the theory. Okay, but that's not the only methodology.
But you're saying that this is the most wrong, and what the physicists are saying, like Michio Kaku, for example, is that this is the most incongruent experimental result.
No, that's not what he says.
Are the most incongruent. That's exactly what he just said.
Dude, that is not what he said. I had the exact quote, man.
To give us the quote.
Hold on, I'll find it real quick.
Pretty sure I'm verbatim.
I got it. Usually in science, if we're off by a factor of 2 or off by a factor of 10, we call that horrible. We say something's wrong with the theory. We're off by a factor of 10. However, in cosmology, we're off by a factor of 10 to the 120th. That's 1 with 120 zeros after it. This is the largest mismatch between theory and experiment in the history of science.
Right. So is that the end of it? So that's what I just said. The most incongruent theory.
He didn't say that, and you didn't say any of the things that I just read up. You are retarded.
Sorry, I'm not sure. Okay, wow, that's really casting aspersions on people. That's nice.
Yeah.
What Michio Kaku said is that the incongruence between.
Now you're gonna tell us what he said when he just read the fucking words to you. Now you're gonna spin it. Yeah. You're gonna spin the words into some. You're gonna translate it for us. No thanks, dude. Go fucking kick rocks.
It might be a language barrier.
No, I've had enough, dude. He can go kick rocks, dude. I don't need a translation.
Yeah, he just proved
Dude's gonna speak for Michio Kaku. What are you gonna do? What's your next trick? You're gonna fucking summon frickin' Houdini from the dead with your Ouija board?
Dude, that's hilarious. What Michio Kaku really meant was, like...
Yes, let me tell you, I'm his lawyer, or at least I play his lawyer on TV.
Hey, you never know. He may actually be his lawyer. You don't know that. We should unmute him just to ask.
We'd rather talk to you because you probably have things. You might be like 5,000 IQ points dumber than him, but I'm sure whatever you have to say is a lot more interesting.
Oh, no. There's definitely only mud in my mind.
Dude, I can't believe I just did that time. You just wasted like an hour of my life for that. Jesus Christ.
Can you imagine getting schooled so thoroughly by a freaking flat earther about how you thought like the scientific consensus was right and the papers that were published were correct, and and then you find out that like the worst theory, like in the history of the world, is quantum mechanics. Field theory, quantum field theory, and Einstein's cosmological constant. Dude, somebody send that guy a case of Preparation H. His ass is gonna be sore for weeks.
I do have a question though, and it's kind of like related but not, because you guys are not talking about flat Earth. But I was told like in a different lobby to come down here because y'all were talking about flat Earth. But
we wanted to be talking about flat Earth, but that guy kept deflecting from flat Earth.
Is that that's what I came to at the I didn't want to interrupt y'all, so like I heard.
No, that's fine. We would have rather talked about flat Earth. He wants to talk about outer space and heads in the clouds and shit. But we wanna talk about flat Earth. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, I mean, I don't really know much about it, whether it's not flat or flat. I just kind of wanted to hear like why it would be flat versus why it wouldn't be flat. So if anyone's an expert, enlighten me, because I'm a fucking dullard.
Hit him with a swan.
I'm on either side.
I'm a dullard.
Basically, like the game is convince me, because I'm on either side. That's what I want.
Bro, we don't want to convince you, man. Like, don't jump from belief to belief. Like, ask questions, man. Like, there's a lot of people on the panel. If you've got a question you think that the globe can answer and the flat Earth can't.
Well, he doesn't even know the questions to ask.
I don't even know. Yeah, he's absolutely right.
So I'll start with this, right? Yeah. So you just take it at face value, right? So think that you're a newborn baby, right? There's nobody else in the world and just you. And you walk out into the world and you want to know what it is. And what do you see? You see the Earth is flat. You don't detect any motion, right? You don't feel like you're moving. You look in the sky, you see the sun moving, you see the moon moving, you see the stars moving, but you don't feel yourself moving, right? And everywhere you go, you don't see a curving Earth, you don't see a ball, and most of the Earth is water. So, the water everywhere, its properties are that it lays flat and level, and you notice this no matter what water you look at, that's what happens. There's no deviation from this unless it's flowing or running downhill or a water drop or something. And that's really where you start, right? And from there, there's other people that came along and said, well, it just looks flat. That shit's an optical illusion. And that shit in the sky, that just looks like it's moving, but you're really moving. And that's just a you just can't tell because motion, all the motion is relative. So you really can't tell that you're moving, but trust us, you actually are. You just can't detect it. Here's some mathematics. Look at this blackboard. Yeah, dude. Follow me. That's pretty much it. That's pretty much all of it in a nutshell. That what we experience is a flat, motionless Earth. Some other people came along and said, nah, you're out of your fucking mind. You must be stupid. It's actually a ball. Look at this little toy in the corner of the classroom. Here's some pictures. Like, look how much fun they have in space drinking their own pee. And, yeah.
And hanging on wires and doing spacewalks with bubbles rising from their suits.
Chugga.
Chroma tree and fucking hairspray on all the females. Not so much nowadays. The hairspray sort of calmed down. The reserves on the hairspray must be kind of running low, so they've kind of got their hair shorter now. But yeah, man, like we experience the Earth just the same as you, so we're not trying to convince you of anything that you're not experiencing. Like completely motionless Earth, constellations that have been constant since you were a kid, revolving as they always have done. Like nothing changes in the sky apart from the planets and the retrograde. Supposedly, that's the only difference we get over the courses of the years. Each year, year in, year out, the constellations come back as they always have done, man.
Listen, all we can tell you is you can trust your own eyes, man. Like, you can trust your own eyes, you can trust your own senses. A lot of people are like, well, your senses aren't perfect, you can't trust them. Oh, is the mind perfect? Is your mind perfect? Can you trust your mind to not make mistakes? I guarantee that if you had a choice, right, I have to trust my senses or I have to trust my intellect, and I'm going to go into the jungle. You're going to trust your senses. You're not going to sit there and think about, well, is there a lion over there? Well, you might think about it, but you're going to try to detect them with your sight, with your hearing, with smell, right? You're going to try and detect danger with your senses. You're not going to try and detect it with fucking a goddamn chalkboard and a bunch of equations.
And the problem is, though, everywhere we look, we don't see any kind of convexity, especially over bodies of water. And then the horizon's constantly fluctuating. Like, one day it's miles further back than it was the day before. And so, like, there's nobody measured this radius of the Earth that they claim if it's constantly fluctuating.
I feel like my mind's about to explode.
Yeah, well, I mean,
yeah, it's an important subject.
Well, listen, yeah, well, here's the thing. Like, you go in kindergarten, and nowadays it's before, right? Your parents hang a solar system mobile in your crib, and they tell you that the Earth is a ball, and that everybody, in the past that thought the Earth was a flat was stupid, superstitious, and thought there were sea monsters and a bunch of gibberish, right? So they're indoctrinating you at a very young age. When you're 5 and 6 years old, they're telling you something which is contrary to your experience. But do they present the real question is, though, when they tell you the Earth is a globe, do they present any evidence for it? No, they don't. They just tell you. You're in kindergarten. They're just telling you, Earth is a globe. We'll get the toy in the corner. If you don't believe the toy in the corner is where you live, you're stupid. And this is a school, and we don't want stupid people in school. So believe in the globe. That isn't indoctrination. I don't know what is. And I challenge anybody to say that's not what the fuck they went through in school. That's what I went through.
For sure. Yeah, man.
Yeah, that's pretty. That's pretty
that,
standard. I don't think anyone would argue
yeah,
that.
bro. If you take a look in the text chat, there's a little horizon test, like a little animation. Click on that and tell me what, like left or right, what would you say is the most realistic sort of definition of Earth? What would you say is correct on the left or the right hand side of that animation?
Wait, what? I think I might have the animations like off on my Discord, so
If you click on the text chat, you should be able to open it up. I think possibly, unless you've got it off as settings, maybe I don't know.
I do have my settings off, but I'll fuck around with it as soon as I'm done with my turn. I'm
you're cool,
playing
man.
MTGA at the same time.
Also, just to offer you as well, man, I don't know if you're in 24/7 Flat Earth Discord. That's where we came from initially. So if you check my bio, you'll be able to see the invite for it. Just put Flat Earth at the end of the invite. You seem kind of chilled, bro. I'm happy to give you VC verified. We'll give you a role and you'll be able to access down there if you want.
Right on.
We stream to YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, Rumble, Twitter, streaming all the time. But since we came up here, it's been more busy here. So we're just trying to keep it lively downstairs as well in the other server. So it's quite big. There's like 28,000 membership.
Yeah, shameless plug. It's all good. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, man. Well, it's my room, So me and Heretic came over and started battling everybody ourselves. So we came here. We're allowed to advertise. We're classed as VIP partners.
We don't
so we
need to plug to get numbers, bro. We got the numbers. No. We're not plugging to get numbers. We're plugging because the information.
I'm plugging 24/7, bro.
So
I killed 24/7, so I'm plugging it.
I feel like I got the most important question now. All right. Whoa. Sorry, my girlfriend's playing a game. She's loud. Okay. So the most important question is, if flat Earth is real, right? And let's just say like it is for like this argument. Let's say it's real.
You experience it. What do you mean? You experience it, bro. Come on, man.
Right. Well, okay. Well, no. I mean, because like, there's gonna be people in the room that don't agree, and there's gonna be people in the room that do agree. I'm saying for this statement, I'm gonna make next. It is.
Sorry to interrupt you, bro, but you cannot disagree that right now you experience a motionless, and it's motionless for starters, and you've never seen curvature. A lot of people cannot admit it, mate. Even though you've got reasons for it, the globe's got all these bullshit stories. But you experience a motionless Earth, and you've never seen convexity over water.
I have. No, I'm not gonna lie. It might have been an optical illusion, but I have seen it.
Where? How? Explain.
That would be at the ocean, on the coast, at the beach. So at the beach. Well, you asked. You want me to answer or not?
I thought you had. Sorry, I thought you had. When you said that at the beach.
Well, I said where. But, more specifically, like, why did it look convex? Well, I was sitting on a boardwalk, and the boardwalk had a fence, and the fence was, a normal fence, and like I could see the water curve over the fence and then go below it. On either side.
Going by the line of the fence?
Yeah, it was really weird. I didn't go there to look
No,
for
but bro,
convexity. I was literally
listen,
just
were you
sitting on a
going by?
bench at the beach, and yes,
Yeah, but were you going by the line of the bench, like, or the fence? Sorry, were you going so the line on that was straight, but you're saying the water wasn't straight in comparison to
exactly,
the fence?
exactly. Yep.
So, bro, how much curve do you seriously think you're going to see from that spot due to the size of the fucking earth? And you think you're going to see curvature differentiated by a fence that's been put up by some woodsman? Like, how much curve do you expect to see, man? The earth is far too big to be able to see curve just looking at the beach anyway. Like,
so
you're not going to see curvature left or right in front of you, man.
Well, I did. So
Can we
How can you?
I don't have any idea
No,
how like
how,
Dante would be able to see that. I've never seen that, but that's
but
wild.
you realize,
Yeah, no,
you
I'm not
realize
gonna
how
lie. Like
small
I've
the
been to
earth.
the
this guy
beach my whole
go?
life, and I never saw it. But when
Oh
there
my
happened,
god.
Yeah.
this was recent. But when there happened to be this fence, like yeah,
You
know,
guys,
like I
No,
could
you
look.
realize
And
how
you
I
small
guys
the
like
earth
it
is
wasn't
rumpused
a
to be
all
on that.
geographic
over this
It's a
guy.
location
ridiculous
Hello,
argument.
that's like
hello.
the
You
layout
guys
was
rumpused all over this other guy who was trying to say if the Earth is flat for the sake of argument, and then you guys cut him off. Please
No, I
continue,
did.
sir.
I thought I did.
Well, just let him finish the thought, and then we'll go to that. Just curious, just that's fine. Just go ahead.
No,
Just
it was
finish
you,
the thing.
bro.
No, I
Speak
know,
up.
I know, but like they really want to do that, so like we should let them do that.
No, on you go, man. Fuck. If
All
you
right,
had
right on,
something to
man.
say, sorry, man. I never,
Right, so like just for like I said, because there's people that
Sorry,
are
man.
like on either side, right? So let's just say for this statement, the next statement, that it is absolutely flat. Okay. Now, my question is, why the fuck would they want to lie to us about that shit?
Man.
That's my question. Now that's
that's
the
just
I
a
feel
mod.
like that's the most
Okay.
important question. Why the fuck would they want to
You're
lie
trying to
to
get
us?
us to speculate, right?
Yeah, like I want to talk about it, have an actual
we-
Well, we're
conversation
not
about
the
it.
We don't
well,
really
we're
like to
not the people that
speculate
tell the
about.
lies, man.
Well, we're not trying to, you know, like interpret other men's thoughts, right? But the number one reason that most people lie and use deception tactics is to gain power, because knowledge is power. So if you convince someone of a lie and you have the knowledge and the truth, then you apply that knowledge and the truth in a way that is going to benefit them. But basically, the most other common reason why people lie is money, right? So if, let's say, the Earth is flat and NASA is part of the military industrial complex, specifically the propaganda arm of this complex, the largest military complex in the world by far, then it would benefit them to get the American people to invest their tax dollars for moon missions and other things, and take that money and swoop-de-doop it into a war account, because NASA and the Department of Defense are most likely tied at the hip.
Weaponry shit.
And they could take these weapons and bomb brown people back to the Stone Age to install world banks in their countries. And I think there's only a few countries left now. What is it? Venezuela, Iran, Syria. You know, the bad guys, quote unquote, right? That don't have World Bank,
North Korea.
IMF style bank,
Yeah,
Federal Reserve style
Rothschild.
banks in their
Fiat
country. But
currency.
if you have asked the American people right in the middle of the Vietnam conflict, like, hey, do you guys want to like invest in this Nazi rocket campaign so that we could like bomb the shit out of people? Like, the American people would have been like, fuck you very, very much, because after World War One, World War Two, Korea, right in the middle of Vietnam, hey, can we get a little extra, because there's these Nazis, and we really want to put a lot of money into this, and we're doing it for science, So that's what I think. But that's all speculation, like I said.
Yo, my bad. I thought it was unmuted. So basically, summing it all up, it's power, right? Power through greed, money, whatever it may be, control power, something like that, more along those lines.
Bro, if they've got your mind, if they've got most people convinced that they're just an insignificant amoeba on a rock, barreling through space, nothing really matters. The world's all to shit. There's been wars, terrorism, all the shit that's been going on lately. The 9 to 5 grind and the slave race, and like this whole system's fucking rigged to, like, it's an open prison, literally, yeah. the whole place is fucking literally like a farm, policed by people like yourself, or some people like to come in and argue for the globe. They don't know anything about it, but they think flat earthers are retarded, so they want to come in here and just start shouting nonsense that they've seen on Facebook or some stupid meme someplace on Reddit or some shit. But they don't know nothing about the model, and that's the problem. But once we kind of get down to the nitty gritty about the model and explain stuff to them, then hopefully they start thinking. So that's basically what we're trying to do here, and get people down to our server, down to 24/7.
I hear you. I hear that.
Cool, man.
Random thought. Does the
Have you got
flat
the
Earth?
link?
Sorry.
Sorry, bro. Have you got the link? Did you take
Yeah,
the link
yeah, I
from my
did. I
bio?
did. I
You want
joined.
me to
I
send
joined. I
it?
joined in.
Cool.
Yeah, 24/7 Flat
I'll
Earth
give
Discord 2.0.
I'll give you a roll, bro.
Oh, I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm in there, man. So in the flat Earth model, does like do like does the rest of the universe exist? Is that a thing?
Well, okay. So
Like
there's
let's say like because like NASA is always talking about like the different planets they observe and like how like that thing might be hospitable, but like habitable. Excuse me, habitable for like human life and like you know.
No, we don't think anything's up there what they claim. They say that that's a vacuum with rocks barreling through it, and we're just on a rock barreling through the vacuum as well. Like, but we've got gas pressure here on Earth. Like, we know we've got 14.7 psi barometric pressure on average at sea level, and it's a gradient, so it gets less and less dense as you gain elevation. But beyond the place they claim is the Kármán line, space is deemed a near perfect and as good as infinite fucking vacuum, and somehow enveloping and maintaining this tiny little bubble of pressurized gas. I mean, it breaks the second law that entropy must increase in this open system they claim we are in. So, like, there's no separation between our pressure and this near perfect fucking vacuum called space. So, it's absolute nonsense, man.